I'd say, hmm, you need to make sure that you're hiring the right team below you, right? So your direct reports, typically in a growth stage company, this varies based on like what the rest of your executive team looks like, but a typical situation might be you have a VP of product underneath you and a VP of design and maybe a VP or director of product operations. You got to have the right people. If you can't trust those people or they're not doing their job, you can't do your job. So like I always say, like one big requirement is make sure they have the right people and be willing to get the right people if you don't, right? Or be willing to train those people up. Make sure that you're invested in that. Um, Another requirement is like diplomacy and being diplomatic. Like I see a lot of people go in to organizations and it's my way or the highway, and this is the right way we should do product strategy. There's always going to be an answer that helps you maximize everything. And it would be a wonderful situation where everybody could just buy into that and agree. But that's not real life. Like executive teams don't sit around all the time and like do actually what's best. Like there's a lot of politics and a lot of nuances that go into it. So you actually have to be like diplomatic about some of those things and understand when you need to get social capital. So you're going to do something that you probably wouldn't do this quarter, but you might want to do it this quarter to get social capital, to be able to get the buy-in and to be able to bring people on your side and actually win. So those, I feel like those types of things like that kind of, social awareness, being self-aware, being diplomatic, not just being like my way or the highway. That's like absolutely critical skills to have in a chief product officer. When I go out and hire chief product officers for companies, and I've done this maybe like 20 to 30 times now, I make a scorecard that's basically based off of what the company needs, where they're at, and like what kind of qualities we need in a product leader. And we use that with the recruiters to find it. So there's usually something about the team. So is it a turnaround where they have a bunch of people on the team that they would like to keep, but they are not product managers? Okay, do I need to be able to train people up? Do you have a history of doing that? Are you really good at coaching and mentoring? Or is it a hire from scratch because we have no product managers, which has happened a lot of times? And in that case, I need to make sure that this person is really good at getting good people onto their team. Like, how are they with a track record of hiring and interviewing, and make sure that they can build a team quickly? So there's something like that. There's something about product strategy that really pertains to the stage of the company and where you're at. So how good are you at putting that together? Usually something about interfacing with the board. Are they like a professional executive when it comes to that? Do they understand how to talk to people who care about sales and finance and bring it back into product and speak their language? And then anything like sometimes they're the process implementer, and they've got to do everything from scratch because there are no processes. Sometimes I look for people like that, but those kind of attributes tend to be very similar. And then it's about the nuance of the company. One example is I had a company that was expanding geographically, and they needed to be able to enter the Asian market. So we we're looking for somebody who had experience doing that because it's very different than the European market that they were in. So those types of nuances we would look at as well, but that all is very company dependent. So I think a lot of this is like, you can have amazing product management chops, but when you become a chief product officer, it's about having amazing executive chops. So you need to bridge those two things together and be able to take a holistic look from a business standpoint of the company, not just a product standpoint.